Hi guys, this is the advisor and welcome back to my channel. Now before I get into the main video, I have a very heartwarming story to tell you guys. A little development. This morning I got a call all the way from Kenya. Yes, there was this guy who I saw this strange number come up on my phone, and I was wondering who on earth is this? It's a strange area code that I just didn't know. Anyway, I answered, and there was this young man who came on the phone who was speaking to me, and he said that I have changed his life. And I needed to understand how, first he asked if I was the advisor, and I said yes, and he said that one of my videos changed his life. And I was surprised, and I said, okay, how has my video changed your life? He said that back in 2022, he saw one of my videos that I put out. The video was titled, How to Earn Crazy Money as a DJ/Music Selector. And he said that at the time when he saw the video, he had lost his job just for like a few weeks. He was low on cash and he didn't know where to turn. He was sending up applications and so on. But he saw it and he said, he was going to try and see what he could make of the video. And after watching it, knowing that, he realized that it's a Jamaican person who made the video. And he understood Jamaica. He was so much into reggae music and all of that. And he wanted to see if a Jamaican could help him. Because he said he had tried to make it as a DJ before, but it just didn't work out. And he said after watching this video that I put out, he said that he applied the techniques that I used. And he said within 3 months, he actually got a gig at a nightclub in Nairobi, which is the capital. He was from a town called Limaru in Kenya. He said that after a few months of that, he kept going back to the video and making references until he actually was seen by somebody in South Africa who came to the nightclub, loved how he DJ'd, and he eventually went to Cape Coast in South Africa and was playing there. And he played at several nightclubs because, he was making a name for himself. But recently, he said that the reason why he's called, he's now back in Kenya because he's come to prepare himself to travel to Dubai, because somehow it seemed like an Arab prince saw him there and loved how he played and wanted to get into a selector like him. And he says he's leaving for Dubai very shortly. He would just like to know, to tell me how my video had actually changed his life. And he's recommending my channel to other Kenyans for this reason and for other reasons. So Joseph Nijiru, I say to you, fly high, keep going. Glad that my video was able to empower another black man to make the most of himself, because that makes me feel that my channel is really worth it. Anyway guys, on to today's programming. Now guys, this is a story that I didn't even realize actually believed happened in Jamaica. It's like, in my mind, I don't think we were capable of this. But here you go. Did you know that one of Jamaica's most famous and most talented musicians, a drummer in the Bob Marley and the Wailers crew, his wife put out a contract killing on his head and have him shot dead just because she wanted to get everything the man have to take and give to her sideman. Yeah man, this is a very, very sad case of Carlton Barrett. Everybody might remember Carlton Barrett, a former drummer with the Bob Marley and the Wailers band, who on April 17th, 1987, was shot dead right at his gate. Now, Carlton Barrett was one of the coolest members of the whole Bob Marley group. He was the soft, quiet philosopher one who all him do stay by himself, smoke him like a weed, or him chill on pipe, where him hug up all the while and just relax. A very calm, soft, stable, level-headed guy. He's one of the most quiet among the entire crew of the Bob Marley. He's the one that people don't even hear about a lot. Unless, of course, if you're in the music business. As a matter of fact, Carlton had another brother in the band also named Aston Barrett. And everybody know bass guitarist Aston Barrett. And very few people have even heard of Carlton Barrett. Even though both of them were in the band. That's because they are of two different nature. Aston was the loud, gallivanting, effervescent one, while Carlton was like the little wallflower, you know? Anyway, he met this girl called Albertine. And she was a person who hung out at the band anywhere they are playing or anywhere they are rehearsing around the studios, because she was trying to get in as a backup singer, and sometimes she was used as a backup singer on some of the songs, but she was trying to break it into it as a singer, but she never made it. But from time to time she would hang out with them. So sometimes she was up at the Old Hope Road headquarters, she would be down by Tough Gang Studios, she would be out by another studio that rehearsals went on Retirement Crescent there in Crossroads. Eventually he and her got into a relationship. But when other people in the music fraternity saw them really getting together as a couple, people warned him. People want him to say, no man, you can't be hanging out with a girl. Sly Dunbar and Robbie Shakespeare saw him hanging out with her a lot, and they want him to say, no man, them girl they are robber. You don't take up them girl there. Light Parks look at him and tell him, say, listen man, most of the man them up here pass through her, right? Them run train pan her. You can't hug her up and wife her up. But Carlton Barrett is a man where you can't really talk to. I mean you can talk to him, but once his mind is made up, he'll just nod his head and you talk, and him listen to you, but he's going to do anything that his mind is already made up to do. He went as far as to marry her after a while, and they lived at the house, lived together. He went as far as to give her money to finish up her mother's house in the country. And also, she said she want to open a clothes store. Him send her go Cayman and Haiti at the time to buy goods and sell. And it didn't work out. Give her more money to go do the same thing. It didn't work out. She decided to go to New York. She was like in the house with him and then out. She rarely spent much time with the man. After a while, she get caught up in another relationship. But to be frank with you, he was hearing about her and the other men. As a matter of fact, two other members of We the People band, which is Light Parks band. And who might remember Light Parks? If you wanna be my queen, you gotta be officially that same guy. And him warn her. And him warn Carlton Barrett say, yes, so this is the type of person she is. The thing is, Carlton was getting fed up. Because here is what now. Anytime him give her money to do any kind of business, the business just never seemed to work out. And it was just money going down the drain. Because she couldn't seem to get her act together. Eventually she met this man named Glenroy Carter. And Glenroy Carter was living in America. He's a Jamaican citizen, but he drives yellow taxi in New York. Come out here, met her, them became, they both started a relationship while she's still married and living with Carlton Barrett. And it was going on for a while. But Carlton now, him not showing, him not really take no talk or listen to anybody no matter how you talk to him. So him a take it easy, but he realized what was going on and it was hurting him. The thing about it, they were not having intercourse for nearly 2 years. Because at that time, because when she started with this man, Glenroy Carter, because what was happening is that she bring in an STD and give him one at a time. And from him go and clear it and bring it to her and she refused to admit it. Him just say, alright, listen. This is it. I don't want to be with you anymore. And him decides to file for a divorce. Apparently she didn't take it too seriously, but when she saw him bring the divorce papers, that was when she really realized it was serious. And because what she did not know was that he had set an agency to find out some details for him. And he eventually find out where they were hanging out together on Treeviews Avenue off Red Hills Road. So she know the house where she and the man catch up at daytime and when she come home at nighttime. And him show her everything and say, because she was trying to get the house that they lived in together at Mount Park Avenue in Kingston 8. Because he had that house before he met her and he wasn't gonna part with it. So realize now that he had her bank to rights. She decides that the only way me going to get everything, me can't let him divorce me. She decided that she was going to bump him off. So she phone up the man and tell the man, listen, here is what we're gonna do. We are going to at least live in peace, live in love, live in harmony for the little time we have been together. And listen, let's not make this be too much of an animosity thing. Whatever you want, I'll give it to you. Whatever you want to do or what you want, I'll comply. I won't give you any trouble in the divorce proceedings, and so on and so on. And he agreed because he's a man, he doesn't do a lot of pushback. Anyway, they seem for all intents and purposes, and the face of it, it looked like things were going peacefully. But one evening, she look at him, it's a good Friday night as a matter of fact. And him come in and him do some Dr. Fish and some so on because, as a man who respects certain Christian rituals, which is equal to the Rastafarian, he only eat fish, he didn't eat other types of meat. Fish and everything. But she said she wanted jerk chicken. And in the night about 8:30, she looked at the man and said, listen, go get me some jerk chicken. She want jerk chicken. She wanted to go and get it anywhere you can find it. She just feel for jerk chicken. And because he really saw where they were on a kind of nice level, him say him not going to spoil it. Make him go get it for her because she seemed to be like, okay. So him leave right off of the hills, in a Kingston 8, near Cherry Gardens, and travel all the way down Mannings Hill Road and go up on Red Hills Road and go buy jerk chicken, pan chicken off of the road, right? And turn up back Whitehall and come up and go back up at Kingston 8 area there and give it to her. You see, by the time she reach the gate and come out to go open the gate, somebody just pounced on him and gave him 2 in his head. Somebody who was apparently waiting inside the yard, beyond the fence, as him open the gate for driving, they just come and put 2 in his face. The person then run to a vehicle that was waiting just a little distance up the road, jump in at the vehicle and took off. And guys, I want you to take a look at this short video. It shows the area where Bridgemount Park Avenue is located. It's in an area called Bridgemount Park. And as you can see how the area looks, you can see this is broad daylight and you don't see anybody on the road. It's a real upscale area. And so if it can look like this in broad daylight, can you imagine how it look close to 10 o'clock at night? So you can understand why it would be so easy for a man to just sneak in, come up, go behind the wall, where the woman set him up, and have him just can sneak up and do the killing and escape without anybody even seeing a thing. Because if this was even done in broad daylight, nobody still wouldn't see. The place is that desolate. But here is what happened now. When them took off, here it was spoiled the fun. You see, when them took off and go down to the next road and go out on the main, guess what them buck up in? A police vehicle. And the police stopped them. But here was why the police stopped them. The police don't know about any crime, you know. Because in them haste and in their nervousness, they did not even turn on the headlights of the car. So because this was going up to 10 o'clock at night now, when the police see this car without headlight at speed, the police stopped them and they stopped. So the police took some details from them and realized that the car was a rental that they were driving. And they give the police the vehicle documents and so on and so on. And I don't know if they may give them a ticket to come to court or what, but the police let them go on their way. I don't know whether or not they had gotten a ticket. But what happened little after, the news come on the radio that these people, that Carlton Barrett was shot. So police now from Constant Spring Police Station, that is St. Andrew North, were on the scene. And after somehow the police who did stop the murderer and the driver along the road, when he said, but listen, I stop a man coming out of that road around the same time when these people were shot. And because they had given driver's license and they had gotten some details, at the time, they refer back to those details. And then they refer back to the car company who owned the vehicle. And it's so they track them. And it's so they track because the man turned out to be Albertina's lover, Glenroy Carter. And they had to find out who is the man. They said, but how you could be down there driving blind without headlights at that hour of the night, coming from that road, when the woman where you were there with, her husband just get shot on that same road. And so now the police put 2 and 2 together and wanted to know who he was in the car with. So them go pick up the other man who was in the car with him, which was a man called Junior Neal. Them call him Bang, and he was a Mason from Seaward Drive in Kingston 11, just off Malines Road. When them pick up them now, them go pick up the wife. And it's so now the three of them, when they realized that they had them bang to rights, the person who had the case, because this was a high profile case, was Detective Superintendent Donald Brown. He eventually became Assistant Commissioner of Police. He's retired now. But at the time, and Detective Superintendent Donald Brown carrying all three of them and start grill them, you know. When they realized that they had them banged to rights, they all three of them decided to confess. The police then went and got a justice of the peace, 2 justices of the peace, because I think it was 2 separate occasions. But one of the justices of the peace was Oswald Brown, and another was Harold Nemad. And these JPs were on there when all their confessions were written down. And the cases went to court. Remember, you know, this happened in 1987. And by 1988, all 3 of them were untried and were tried. And it was Tom Tavares Finson who had the case, who was the defense lawyer. And what Tom Tavares do, which is what he always do, is to try to bribe the jury. And he managed to get to the jury and taint them, and therefore 2 jury members I hear were bribed, and therefore they could not reach a decision. It was deadlocked, and therefore the case actually was it was a hung jury They couldn't reach a decision and the jury was dismissed. It went back to trial again in 1991. That's 2 years later. And this time they were found guilty. All three of them were found guilty. And at that time, it looked like they were on bail because at that time when she come in for sentencing on the second occasion, she come in there claiming that she was 7 months pregnant. But at that time, they appealed the case because they appealed the case and saying they were not guilty. And guess what they come with the second time? Well, I know they come with a barrage, a liar. She and the 2 man. They come back with Tom Tavares Pinson, but then bring Dr. Paul Ashley, then bring KD Knight, then bring Bert Samuels, and then bring Norman Harrison. Then bring all of the criminal liars they could find. When I say criminal liars, emphasis on the word criminal, because these are criminals first, then liars second. All of them, especially one, Bert Samuels him. And here is what they come to court this time and say. The reason for them being innocent is that all of the confessions that they had signed to, they were coerced. The one who actually pulled the trigger, wasn't her lover, it was the other one. And him claims that him couldn't read and write. And him never know why him assigned to. So when him sign, him never know why him assigned to, because him can't read and write and him didn't know. Them just tell him say sign and him sign. Because them beat him and tell him sign. She says she get enough beaten. Joe Grind say him also get enough beaten. And I beat them, make them sign. Anyway, the 2 JPs who were there when they signed voluntary, they come back and say, listen man, no man, we did it. And they were nice and calm and gentle. And we sat there all through everything that they were saying. But these criminal liars, emphasis on the word criminal, they all contended that we not sure what had taken place outside of whether they were coerced or anything outside of the purview of these JPs. Therefore, we can't say them did really never get coerced. And based on that, these people walked free. After 8 years, they walked free as a bird because the appeal was allowed. The moral of this story, no sorry for Margadog. Margadog will turn around bite you. That's a 1. Point 2, you cannot take up any little old crabbe a road and turn them in a lady. A lady is born a lady. And if she's born a lady, she'll be a lady. You cannot just take up anybody and turn them into a lady. Remember that. Ladies come ready-made from birth. And that's why as a man, you can't be too soft and careless. And you must be willing to listen to your peers some of the time. Not all the while, you must be your own man, but you must be willing to at least take other people's feelings and opinions into consideration, as long as they are factual. Guys, thank you for listening. I appreciate your visiting my channel. Like, share, leave a comment below, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.